Alright, so welcome back to the Golden Gift Qualifier number 1. We've got Dobr in the blue trunks here, in set, up against Grassengroom on Aranos in the red trunks. So we're here today on Tournament Marsh. We'll see how our players go. Grass has got two fairly close town centres to his main one. In fact, they all fit on my one screen here. Pretty impressive, huh? Dobr's TC spawns a little bit more spread out, actually. I can't actually fit all three of them on the one screen. So you'll have to really work to try and maintain this foot on. I mean, Grass will too. This is still quite open, quite easy to get a hold of for either player. So both players' main bases are sort of secluded from one another around the marsh, between these wood lines. Probably shouldn't be too hard to try and wall yourself in come late game. There's no fish in the water, but it is deep enough just to ferry a warship in. So later on, you might see someone use a cheeky siege ship or two. Not common, but it does happen every now and then. Dobr trying to convert boar. Scout with it, bring it home for a food source later on. Just continuing to convert as many of those as possible. Hyena even being used to get a bit of harass off and scout too. Grass will just be sending his 3 oracles all around the map, try and cover as much ground as possible. They don't have a huge amount of range until they actually stop, but the longer they stop, the further their line of sight increases up to a certain point. So the citizens, tanky motherfuckers, they can just outright fight a hippopotamus alone. A lot more stats on them than a regular villager. And Dobr's priest is going to have sore hands by the end of this day. Like, his arms. Look at all the gains that he's getting, man. It's definitely arms day over there in Egypt. Oracle is going to get finished off. Ooh, but actually no, he won't. He'll get garrisoned on 1 health. Meaning that the boar has to retreat. The citizen's going to deal a lot of damage to him. Little fella.
Skopos?
And then later on, Dobr can always bring these back home and, yeah, eat them. He's going for another couple of priests. He could. Come on, man. Get him out on the map. Get him converting. You know as well as I do, there's a lot of boars here. So his age up's kicked in. So we've gotten sidetracked with the converter boar mini game here. So Dobr, age up to Tar. He's got access to shifting sands, which he's actually going to make good use of. He's brought the boars as well as those additional priests to snipe a unit there of Grass. Get one of those citizens off him early. To Grass Military and counter barracks going down straight away there. Well, Dobr doesn't want to overextend here. These units don't have a lot of health, so one of those gazelles going down. You can take out a sentry post or two. Now it means later on, if he does continue to mount a push, he can find it easy to try and tunnel his way to the town centre. Doesn't want to bleed too many of these set animals. Still at the conversions. All just being rallied to the town centre to be a nice food source. Few heroes into the mix of the army for Grass now, so he's gone for Prometheus. So he's got Valor and the Promethean units and reduce hero cost, which is always quite a nice upgrade because you're going to have to make them. You have to turn regular units into heroes constantly as Atlantean. Ah, here we go. So Dobr's now going to mass convert the boar. It's actually going to go the wild buffalo first, because the set boar can actually help him defend here. I mean, obviously it's not ideal if his opponent kills them, because then he can't gather from them. But it's better than losing the town centre. Just that in an ideal world, you're going to keep all the boar up and gather from them. I'm just greedy, man. Okay, I like my food. I like my bacon.
Burek.
The wild boar has actually been rallied there. Oh, he hits the Terma really hard. They don't have a lot of hack armor at all, so the Terma nearly being finished off by the boar. In fact, villagers and citizens have much better hack armor than these guys. So any melee attacker will be hitting for almost true damage against the Terma. And it could be terminal. Ha 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 ha. A little piggy being stolen here. Grass will be happy to take 175 food off his Egyptian opponent. Yeah, he's looking to go for his boar now. So you can't actually see the resource value if it's out of line of sight of the player you've got selected. It's pretty cool for Observer. Pretty cool, I mean fucking annoying, but it does also show that the game is pretty robust in not giving opponents too much info. Like the newer Age of Empires games, particularly 4's got awful problems with people being able to tell too much of the line of sight. Age of Empires Online also had the ability to monitor your opponent's resource stockpiles through Fog of War, which, you know, meant that if you keep tabs on it, you could tell what your opponent was going to do. You'd only have to scout the early stone mine to know whether or not they were going to go for an Age 2 town centre or not. Not actually park him there the whole time. So, now the Terma really being used to their full value. There's harasses here. Annoying quick range unit with good range and damage to snipe. Good movement speed to actually snipe all those villagers there, or one of them. Another one low. So Dobr, I'm going to try and defend and be very careful here. I mean, sorry, Grass, I'm going to try and... Yeah, sorry, no, it is Dobr. Just tired, guys. Grass. on the one town center, but has a pretty hefty army here. Dobr, 90 pop, Grass, 115. Bearing in mind, is not using 2 town center production, so his work account is going to be below his opponent's, but his army size massive here. So Dobr, be very careful and defend very carefully. The comp Grass has got, he can't really siege the buildings, but it makes it awfully difficult for Dobr to fight him or to stay gathering. The Atlantean 115 pop army is all starting to get pieced together here, so I wonder. Here we go, Grass is going to go for a second town center now. And while this Egyptian opponent is only on 110 pop, is he best off trying to fight now before Dobr can take advantage of his second town center? A nice shockwave there. Bearing in mind our Atlantean player gets to reuse his powers a couple of times. Grass having a... most of his villages garrisoned here for the damage it's going to offer. I mean, sorry, Dobr having a garrison a lot of his army in his villages. A lot of his low units being garrisoned back in and out. Slingers being used to focus fire and then garrison and focus fire another target. Very effective there from Dobr. Grass is having a retreat, but he's in a position to go for a second town center. The Egyptian player almost doesn't look like there's a scar on him at the moment. Grass is actually trailing in army size now, so he possibly waited slightly too long to mount the push, because he's at 115 pop for a little while there. Basically let Dobr get up to 110 before he actually pushed into him, so now Grass is going to have to play a bit more carefully, because Dobr's actually got, I think, the comp to match his army, and has actually got healing over him, so the Atlantean army, one of the civs that does get fairly late healing. Or it's a bit more god specific, sorry, for Atlantean. This could be a nice catch here for Grass. He's going to get a few of Dobr's villages, but Dobr, yes, the army is here, going to get a military in response. I suppose what Grass is trying to do is just close that villager gap that Dobr would have built up from having the quicker second town center. You know, obviously the citizens, the 3 pop and villagers are 1, but I mean, you're supposed to hold a perfect 3-to-1 ratio. If it sort of slips anything out of there, then it's because someone's ahead or behind on town centers. So a good catch here for Grass. A lot of Dobr's villagers have an idle here. He does have a lot of gold income over at this top side anyway, so he could always just send these guys onto the gold once these guys have got 400 and take the settlement, so that's what he's going to do. Grass having a retreat, but he's added Cairo Ballista now. So these guys a little bit stronger than the Terma, I think, against units in general. A bit more range, a bit more area coverage, as well as being a stronger unit against the infantry. Not so good against the slingers, but the Egyptian unit player probably isn't really looking to play around the slingers too much longer. Like, they're mainly there to interrupt the Terma. They're more of a reactive unit. I mean, all anti-range range units are, but Terma probably the most proactively used because of their mounted capability, their extra speed that they offer over other anti-ranged units. So Grass knows about the third town center, has picked off a Vil. Not bad. At the same time, we're going to keep him busy elsewhere on the map, so I don't know how to feel about this for either player. Because, I mean, Grass can probably get this, but there's a lot of villagers there to repair it. At the same time, he is getting shoved really hard back at home. His own third town centre is going to finish, but going to end up being surrounded. Possibly picked off here. Oh, there's not really enough damage against structures here in the Egyptian comp. Don't know if there really is in the Atlantean comp here either. Both players would be sacrificing a lot of army to try and take out the town centres at this point. Like, I don't know if Grass realizes how low a lot of his army here is, and I think Dobr does, so that's why he's actually looking at just fighting at melee, because he knows his opponent can't really stick around for the time being. So a few Tome are being picked off, but Grass is going to stay because he can interrupt the gold gathering now. So Dobr's trying to weigh up whether or not it's worth losing the villagers to gather the gold. Because bearing in mind he is also now using villagers to push the building. These guys actually have nice, you know, just flat melee damage. There really isn't a huge amount of axemen, and their base damage, so damage against structures, is a little bit lower than the vills. The town centre being killed with a villager push. But over here at the top side, Dobr ultimately has had to garrison a lot of the vills and has lost a few of them as well. I'm going to push back out using mercenaries, so spending a lot of the gold he's just actually mined on units that are on a timer. So if Grass just backs off on this side, which he's doing, these guys are all going to die, and it's sort of been a worthwhile push there now. But in saying that, he's lost a lot down here, and the villager push from Dobr is doing wonders. Not really sending any more vills, but he possibly could. But now that the axes and slingers are coming to back this up, he should be able to take this town centre, but he might have to stutter step all these slingers over this way to do so, or yeah, have them try and engage the army while the melee take out the town centre. So Grass is going to fall back to one town centre for a little bit here. Dobr looks to be in a nice spot, setting up with his Egypt.
Into you.
Man, I love AOM's music. All the Age games are just such memorable music. Except for number 4. Nah, it's not bad. I don't mind it, but AOM, AoE 3, and AoE 2 music in particular is just so, I don't know, nostalgic. AoE music is really good too. In fact, the AoE soundtracks, like the largest by far, but at the same time, because it's so large, the individual tracks aren't sort of as memorable. They're really good, really high quality. Even the Celeste ones that have been added, you know, as a fan thing, which is really, really cool. But yeah, music in the Age games, the series, I think is a really integral part of it. Switch to Arcus and Kyra Ballista. So the Arcus are actually not great against slingers, but they do slightly outrange them. They are I think a slightly more expensive unit, so 95 resource versus 84. Kyra Ballista don't actually have to worry about slingers countering them, because they're actually technically a siege unit, where a slinger is designed to counter the ranged. Dobr fairly safely walled off over here now. While it looks like Grass is going to be well established on all 3 town centres once again very soon. Momentary setback, losing the 2 town centres, and he did get a lot of villager kills, stop a lot of gathering time. of Dobr in the meanwhile. Grass in heroic. Dobr's still in classical at this point. Obviously Grass. His Vil count suffering a little bit as well because he's not able to produce Vils through this. But he did hamper the Vil count of the Egyptian player pretty heavily and he's managed to go for Thea, so Hesperides, to access those Dryads which are population free. Symphalian birds, nice ranged attacks on them, and Lance of Snow might come into play later on if he ever looks to field some Cantarius, but so far he hasn't needed to. In the ultra late game, I think they're actually one of the best units for Atlanteans because they're mobile, tanky, and have really good melee damage, so they're good at trying to snipe town centers or villages, and just being an annoying unit that can both run by and take head-on fights. Yeah, there is a Cantarius there. Thea unique upgrade hasn't been researched yet, so he's really only got the one. He doesn't need to worry about it just yet. The Dryads are nice because, I mean, they're pretty expensive gold unit, but basically they're a population-free myth unit that's pretty good against buildings and, well, just most things in general, good base damage. Not that great when focused down by the priests though. So for now I think Dobr's still pretty safe. Like, Grass is still going to have to try and get fire siphons to really put a dent in his opponent, or just get like 15 destroyers. So without a composition like that, it's very hard for Atlantean to actually try and finish the job. They're a really good civ for trying to take control of the map early on, like Norse, but you know, they do really struggle with sealing the deal. Pre-siege units, probably more so than just about any other civ, I think. Other than maybe Egyptian. But then again, like, most games of theirs ultimately seem to get decided at, you know, chariots and camels when they first get siege, not necessarily after 20 minutes worth of siege. So, heroic age for Dobr, but mythic age here for Grass. So, Grass is going for Tartarian Gate right on the doorstep here. Starting town center. So, all the initial villages actually being rallied straight on this. Shockwave going to be nice. It's going to allow for some more Tartarian spawn to get some damage off and the gate to not fall so quickly, but bearing in mind there is, or was also use of the ancestors here to help defend against it. Dobr taking an engagement right now on Grass, and so he's gone.
Anyway.
Set. Sorry guys, struggling with navigation. He's gone for Nephites. Cheaper priests, and there's another priest upgrades there. Available to Dobr now, while Grass I'm going for Kate. He's got myth unit regeneration, extra train time on them. And Pades are a really nice unit as well. You can actually use them like a living bomb, which I think is what he's looking to do here with that one there. It's low. They do have really nice damage, but when they die, I'm pretty sure these are the ones that actually explode. And they can chaos units with their mythic power. Dobr walling himself in and going to Horus for the age up here, so a set player gonna have access to stronger infantry, tornado, Avengers. So he might actually be looking to stick with the barracks line and not add too many MiGs here. Maybe just rely on more conventional siege. It's good of him to snipe that Hades like that, because again, that big green, almost radioactive looking field, it's like a big explosion. Don't want units dying nearby them. Players just doing the dance for the time being. That market of grass, not actually one set up really for trade, I don't think. He's just put it there for his earlier mythic age, while Dobr's is obviously being used as a proper market line. Fight going down now with fire siphons. Now joining the battle. So Atlantean player might be able to push somewhat, but you have to be careful because the slingers take out these Arcus really quite easily here. In fact, going to be used to focus them down now. Fire siphon under attack, but it's going to get a lot of damage off on that town center. Not going to be able to get it though. The Avenger attacking it. Dobr having used Tornado here to take out the town center and get that palace really, really low. So it's great use of that from him. He's having to try and defend with everything he's got at the moment. This grass, get to take out the surrounding production, and as we go for this town center, which is being repaired now. Rhinos have set on the field. Hippos have set too. Has the madman been out just converting them, or oh, did he get them with his? He would have got them with his age up. Sorry. Grass. Trying to retreat.
Into you.
Did this mercenary cavalry die soon? He's trying to save his fire siphon as well, no doubt. Palace going to be pretty strong against all these ranged units. Side building attempt here from Grass. An adventure. Sort of harassing. Bunch of citizens down here. This spin attack would have, I don't know, would have used a spin attack against the villagers. Dobr adding some more racks. He's still really sticking with this infantry mass, like having gone down the tech path that he has, he can afford to do so. He'll be able to take out the palace, which hasn't been repaired fully yet. Or maybe not. Looks like Grass's army is here on time. Bunch of Cantarius. Interesting change of the game music to a loop back to the start. I was going to say, with Set and going with Horus, there's probably not so much a need to try and get on the Migdol strongholds at all this game. Really just rely on infantry, myth units, and then well-placed siege. Try and break the opponent. Well, get Lantian player. Maybe play pretty similarly around the fire siphons. So maybe with a few more Cantarius in the mix. Grass making a bit of headway here. He's finally re-establishing this third town centre again. Dobr's managed to take it off him a couple of times this game. Really limits his ability to keep pushing here because it restricts his max population. A couple of a sneaky Arcus finding the market line. There has actually been a citizen snuck over the back here. Must actually be a slight bit of shallows there to cross. Which could be rough for Dobr the longer this game goes on, because he can go for a cheeky palace over here. Dobr's doing a wonderful job at holding in the center of the map, and he's continuing to push forward into the Atlantean player. One of those siege towers being taken out though, which is an expensive blow. But Dobr, access to Titans now. Grassengroom. Been in Mythic longer than his opponent here, but just now gets set up with the proxy base over here. He's not managed to really sneak anything through here. I wonder if he might have even been best off trying to just have this barracks. Yeah, rally here with Cantarius production. Because they're pretty good at taking out structures and walls pretty quickly. Having Arcus firing over the wall is going to take forever and a day to actually take down a market. Like, sure, he can harass the camels themselves, but he's actually going to try and get them in here to do so. A lot of villagers actually being used to get that gate up. That's right, Dobr knows if he can get this guy fielded, he really puts some pressure on Grass to have to try and get his own out, and at the moment Grass can't really afford to do so, so I think this is a bit of an all or nothing push. In fact, Grass can't really afford to get much out here other than a handful of Arcus to try and harass the Gatherers for now. The Arcus over at the other side again. Because it's not a Kentaris, it's going to take forever and a day to actually get that market. It might be faster to have Mealy take out the wall and then the market. So Grass just having to tap out because he runs out of steam.